For local political observers like the 21 This Week crew, how fun was it to watch the dynamics this week between the county executive and the newly expanded county council? That tug of war, that overpower, just is fun to watch. The incumbent county executive, Mark Elrich, won re-election by the narrowest of margins in the Democratic primary. Some would say that it was a sign of strength, others a sign of weakness. For highly carnivorous politicians, that opens a question. It's like ringing the dinner bell for a pack of jackals. On the other side, the county council has grown and has multiplied from 7, and with 7 new members elected for a first term, there's jostling going on over whose members, is going to get as the members stake out their political territories. Laurie, county government is still trying to clean up the mess created last summer when the 5-member planning board was forced to resign en masse. There are those that view the veto of the appointment of Mr. Hedrick to the Planning Commission to be a signal from the county exec that he wants to have a greater role in the development process, which typically is of the province of the council. One headline actually read, "Elrich to council, I still matter." So is this political gamemanship being played out on the pages of Montgomery County 360?
I think there is a lot of political gamemanship going on. If you remember early on during our legislative session, there was discussion about Ben Kramer's bill, which would have given less power to the county council and more power to Mark Elrich. So Mark is, trying to set his stage here. And I think this is part of it. James Hedrick, I watched his interview with the county council and thought if I was a Democrat, I would be very happy with him. He seemed extremely,
maybe that's the problem, Laurie. Maybe that's the problem with him.
I know. Well, he loves density and he wants cars off the road. So he is a dream for the county council members. And, I think it also something that Mark Elrich should be happy with too, but I think he just wants to shake it up a little bit. He after talking to him for 2 hours, he decided he was going to veto him. And, he seems to be very, very knowledgeable about affordable housing and things like that.
I agree.
So.
Well, it didn't work out very well since the council overrode the veto on an 11-0 unanimous vote. Yes. When Mr. Hedrick was only approved by an 8-3 vote. So Maricé, it's been reported again, oftentimes, that Mr. Elrich doesn't take the time to cultivate coalition supportive policy objectives. So are these disagreements going to be harder to find compromise on between the council and the county executive, or will there even be any disagreements since they seem to be all coming from the same political perspective?
No, I think that, in terms of Mark's veto, I think it was just really a resounding affirmation of that he does think that he should have a little bit more say. But as you state, I think that as the county council members all came together to support Hedrick, I think that shows that we're ready to move on. We see that Mr. Hedrick was the former chair of the Rockville housing enterprises. He understands, density, he understands. And when it comes to affordable housing, most of, if not all, of the council members who are brand new and ran on Thrive, for example, are in his corner. So I think that, if I was the executive, I would have, even if I were not a fan of Mr. Hedrick, I would have really just kind of created a kumbaya moment, but there are different leadership roles. And I would say there's also the other dynamic of it being Sherry Branson, a Black woman who was running for the same position. So I also understand that there was a pre-division, but once that Mr. Hedrick came through as the favorite, then I thought that the council members were smart in kind of protecting each other and working together so that there could be some kind of coalition building or some step forward as we finally approve, all the members of the planning board.
Yeah, well, and with Thrive, that's something I didn't mention, I meant to mention. Thrive 2050, I think all of the planning board members, except maybe, I'm not sure if the Republican will be supporting it, but they're all going to be in lockstep with each other on that, because they wouldn't have appointed people who did not support Thrive 2050, since that's what the county council voted for. So so that's a shame. I wish there were a little bit more even understanding of it, because I think a lot of people don't want Thrive 2050 and they haven't listened to the.
Well,
to
you know,
the-
I mean, Arlington County
program.
is, you know, you got to, if you look across the river at Arlington County, what they're doing with the missing the middle, I mean, they are very aggressive in increasing their density. And it's very similar to Thrive, but not exactly the same. Anyway, we'll continue to watch the ongoings at the county council just for our own amusement, if for nothing else.